Luigi's Mansion was a launch title for the GameCube back in 2001. It's one of my favorite games of all time, and this is what kicked off the whole Luigi's Mansion series now. The story is that Luigi won a mansion in a contest he didn't even enter, and so he went to the mansion with the map he got to meet Mario there, but when he arrived, Mario was nowhere to be found. You'll meet a character named Professor Egad, and if you talk to him in the gallery, he explains that the last ghost that he caught was Boolossus, and somehow he escaped, and he released all these other ghosts that Professor Egad had previously caught from their paintings, and so in the mansion, those are like the main ghosts that you're gonna have to catch. There's also like enemy ghost types like the gold ghost, the purple puncher, the blue twirler. You got the green one that eats the bananas and throws them. So they all have like their unique move set. Like the blue twirler, he'll slam the ground, and then the purple puncher will try to punch you. The gold ghost tries to do that too. Each boss has their own type of like how to catch them types of moments. Either you gotta wait for them to yawn or open themselves up for the attack, such as like the mother. You have to vacuum the window curtain so a breeze comes in so she lets her guard down. Stuff like that. Each portrait ghost has like a weakness that you have to find. Kind of like a puzzle. Your main means of attacking in this game is your Poltergust 3000. You can suck up ghosts and by pressing the R button. And if you press the L button, you won't be able to do anything at first besides like spit out air or dust. But you will find a fire medallion, an ice medallion, and the water medallion. So you can use it as like a flamethrower. You can use it to squirt water, ice, etc. To catch ghosts on here is pretty simple. You just shine your flashlight at their heart. If you do it for too long, shine the flashlight at them, they'll just vanish. And then they'll come back in just a couple seconds, depending on where you are in the room. But you flash them real quick and press the R button to vacuum them up. Then you shake the analog stick and like rotate it back from the opposite direction they're going. And that's how you capture them. Certain ghosts will have like an elemental weakness that the only way to defeat them is by using that. So like if he has like ice inside of one of the ghosts, you need the fire element before you can shine your flashlight and catch them. You'll find a couple toads throughout the mansion. I would say 5 total, and like everywhere across the whole mansion, something around there. And by talking to them, that lets you save the game. This is like the only way to save the game besides catching boos. They'll let you save the game as well. Once you complete area 1, which is like chapter 1, I guess you could say, then the boos will spawn. And each room that has a portrait ghost, you would have to shake stuff and vacuum stuff to make the boo come out. They can like throw booby traps, like a bomb that explodes, or just like a boo ball. But eventually they'll spawn out and you catch them. And if you catch all 50 of them by the end of the game, you get a giant diamond. And there's only 2 of those in the whole game. And that's what will help you with getting the highest rank. You have a Game Boy Horror device, similar to like a Game Boy Color. So it has a built-in boo feature that will blink yellow if you're getting closer, and it'll beep faster. And once it's blinking red, that means the boo's right there, and it's about to pop out. You can also use the Game Boy Horror as a map. It has like a map built in. You can see your stats of how much money you have, and other ghosts you've already caught. You can read their names and stuff. If you press the A button with Luigi, you can call out for Mario. And depending on how much health you have, if it drops below 70, his voice will be a little shaky. And then if you drop it even lower than that, he'll be like screaming, you know, for like Mario. Each area, or you could say like chapter of the mansion, there's tons of portrait ghosts, and then you'll fight like a big boss. So with the portrait ghosts, for me, what I think at least, depending on how many tries it takes to capture them, determines the type of painting you'll get. You can get like a gold, silver, or bronze. It's either how many tries it takes or how many like pearls they drop while you're vacuuming them up. They'll drop pearls. How many of those you get in one go. But from my experience, I think it's just how many tries it takes. And some portrait ghosts, they'll give you like more tries. So like if it takes like 2 tries, you'll end up getting like a silver portrait, stuff like that. But for the bosses at the end of the chapter, those are based on health. So if your health drops below like 90, you'll get like a silver painting. If it goes below 80, I believe, something like that, it'll be like bronze painting. The whole point of those is I think they add to like your score of how much money you'll get at the end of that chapter, depending on what color the paintings are. Silver, gold, or bronze. There's a lot of portrait ghosts to catch, but some of them are optional. So you can just walk in the room and just like go right past it, you know? I wouldn't do that, because I'm like a completionist. I mean, why wouldn't you want to do it, you know? But you could if you're speed running or something on another playthrough if you wanted to. But those rooms, when you catch the ghost, the portrait ghost, there'll be a green chest with money in it. And so obviously you wouldn't want to skip that. The blue chests have keys in them to open up other rooms. Every time you grab a key, your map will open and show you where it goes. The red chests, you'll have to find 5 of Mario's items later in the game to give to a portrait ghost named Madame Corvoya. She's like a good ghost, but portrait ghost. But you have to find his hat, glove, shoe, letter, and a star. And she'll examine them, and then eventually she'll let you capture her to return her to her painting, but she's good. There's lots of secrets and stuff to explore, such as like the speedy spirits and the cheese. You can scan with your Game Boy Horror, and then a mouse will appear. Certain rooms, like the kitchen and the second floor hallway, and even the first floor hallway, they all have a slight chance, like 10 to 20% chance a gold mice will spawn. If you vacuum those up, you'll get tons of money. The speedy spirits are fast, and so like they're hidden. You like knock on something in certain locations, they'll pop out. There's only like 15 in the whole game, I believe. But catch those, yeah. Just be ready for them, and make sure like no other ghosts are around yet, because then it's gonna be hard to catch them. But if you miss them, or even the gold mice, if you forget to scan it, there's a blackout later in the game, and that's like your second life, second opportunity to go get those items. As I mentioned earlier, there's a gallery you can go to, and that's where you will find all the portrait ghosts that you've caught up to that point. And you can just view them. Depending on if you got a gold, silver, or bronze, they'll have like a different image on them. So if you get like a gold painting, it will look different. Like the picture will be different than like the other one. So, you know, it's just good to get the highest one, because usually the higher, like the gold ones have like a better image, I believe. All preference. Overall, the whole game isn't really that hard. Sure, you'll get a hit a couple times, but there's plenty of hearts everywhere, you know. Unless you're exploring during the blackout where there's like a million ghosts everywhere, you're not really gonna die. But you will take hits every now and then. But there's plenty of hearts everywhere to recover. Once you get to chapter 3, I believe, the start of it, you go into like the backyard of the mansion, and there's a well. That's where you can get a glimpse of where Mario is, and you can even hear him talking, shouting, and a lot of people are like, I'm surprised a lot of people talk about it. They're like, oh, I didn't know he said that, but it's like, he says, hey, Luigi, what's the holdup? You know, and I see like a lot of people on Twitter, they're like, oh, I didn't know what he was saying, but it's so obvious. If you climb halfway down the ladder, all the noise cuts out, and you can just hear him talking. You can hear him shouting. But later, at the very end of the game, you'll get a key to the basement, and that's where you get to the room where he's at to fight King Boo and Bowser. There's lots to explore and, like, to find stuff, you know? Lots of secrets and hidden stuff. And there's, like, an RNG element to it, because when you re-enter rooms, if you, like, vacuumed a chandelier, it's like nothing spawned, you can vacuum it for a bit, and once it makes like a poof, like a dust noise, that means nothing's gonna pop out of it. But if you re-enter that room later, there might be money there, you know? So there's like an RNG element. Every time you enter a room, there's like a chance that like a gold bar or dollars could be hidden somewhere that you already checked previously. So it's always good to double check stuff when you re-enter rooms. There's also a lot of booby trap doors, and so you can use your fire to burn them down. Just shoot fire at them. You can vacuum them, and if they don't shake, then they're not a real door. And if you grab the doorknob, obviously you'll get slammed and take damage. But you can also look at your map and see that there's not a door there. So there's 3 different ways to tell it's a fake door. Depending on how much money you've collected and what gold, silver, or bronze you got in the portraits, that all adds up to your score, and that determines your rank at the end of the game. I also want to mention there's a flower in the backyard of the kitchen where the doghouse is. As soon as you get the water medallion, water the flower. Otherwise, you'll miss your chance of getting that diamond. There's 2 big diamonds, one for collecting all the booze, and the other one for watering the flower. So water that flower at the end of chapter 2, right before you fight that Bogmire boss fight, and then the start of chapter 3 and the start of chapter 4, area 4. I just call them chapters. But there's also tons of plants in the whole entire mansion. Just water them. They'll give you money, rubies, diamonds, emeralds, gold bars, dollars, gold coins. This game is over 20 years old, you know? 2001, so what was that, like 23 years old now? I think the graphics hold up amazingly. And you can see his breath in the dark because it's like cold because there's no power. And just like the art style, you know, it looks like a European mansion. And it kind of looks like realistic-y, you know? Sort of like what you see in Mario Sunshine, like those types of textures. Usually up to that point, you didn't really see that in like Mario games. But, like these realistic kind of things. But I love it. The graphics definitely hold up. There's like a few like shadows like on his face in certain rooms that may look a little weird. But honestly, and don't get me started on the shadow in the telephone room with the whole conspiracy with that. But yeah, you see like the shine on the gold coins and everything. I think the graphics look amazing. They still hold up to this day. The only thing that you could really say that you don't like about this game is it's short. You can beat it in about like 1 to 2 sittings. Honestly, when I play it, it only takes me 2 sittings because I usually take a break once I get to area 4. But yeah, you could definitely beat it in one whole sitting if you know what you're doing. If you've never played this game and you're trying to explore to get the best rank, to get all the money and speedy spirits, the gold mice cheese, it's going to take way longer than that. Probably like 6, 7 if you're new to the game. But yeah, if you know what you're doing, yeah, sure, you could fly through it in like 3, 4 hours. But that doesn't really bother me, you know, it doesn't overstay its welcome. It's just nicely paced and there's tons of rooms to explore and everything. The only thing I could really say that is kind of annoying is like the Boo Losses fight at the end of chapter 3, area 3. There's like last couple boos you have to catch. They can be like a pain in the butt. They like troll you and like it's just kind of annoying. Also, like the boos, once you like clear a room and you like try to get the boo, they jump from room to room. That could be kind of annoying. It's not bad, but it could be kind of annoying, especially I feel like when they go in the hallways, it takes longer to vacuum them up. It doesn't do much damage to them, whereas if they're back in the room they were originally, they take lots of damage. But yeah, it's not a big deal. I love the first Luigi's Mansion. It's a masterpiece. Definitely play it if you haven't. If you play the 3DS version, that's fine, but I feel like that version's like kind of different to control. I think this one's just better. Yeah, man, I love it. One of my favorite games of all time, top 10. Go play it. And until next time.